Yeah, but she's doing prep.
Yeah, I
you
guess
know?
so.
There's a whole day regime before that she's getting her butthole ready.
Yeah. And her
There's
front ready.
her back and her front.
Yeah.
And she's got a specific food thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's buying things. She's
Yeah.
traveling. Kayla Jean's doing it professionally. But if
Yeah.
you're Rob from 90 Day Fiancé, if I can get a cameo of you.
Listener discretion advised. Adult language and mature content.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Two Queens, One Screen. I'm Jen.
I'm Keeley.
And we are back. And we've got some highs and lows. We're going to start with the lows. What's the bad news, Keeley?
Part 5. That's the bad news.
There are 5 parts of this tell-all. We said 4.
We don't need 4. We said we didn't need 4, and we don't need 5. And we're going to get 5.
And I feel like even though we're done with this, we can't be done until we're really done.
We can't be done until we hear from the therapist. So
you're right. What is it? It's the sunken cost fallacy. Is it we're like, well, we've put so much into this, we need it to, but
God. Yep.
We're going to. You're going to hear about it. Do you want to just jump right in? Because we're going to get through this so fast and then go to the amazing episode of The Valley.
Wow. Yes. We all have PTSD from The Valley this week.
Oh my God. It's so good and so horrible. All right. Well, 90 Day Fiancé. Lol. Part 4. They start us off with Josh and Natalie because for some reason, no one will let this go, including them.
Yeah.
And Josh is screaming at Natalie for messing with his family.
Yeah.
His family being his ex-wife. I'm glad he has a good relationship with his 2 ex-wives.
Oh,
and one of them, she's
right.
saying that it was the ex-wife, and the ex-wife is saying that it was Natalie. As the fights went on with everyone accusing each other of things, I honestly think that Natalie is a liar. Right? Because it seems like she was calling out every single person, and every single person was like, we were almost on your side until you started talking shit about us on Instagram.
Oh, right. Yes.
I kind of believe that. And then they bring out Josh's new girlfriend finally. You called it. It's the sister of Elizabeth, who is on 90 Day Fiancé with her husband, Andre. She seems like a basic bitch pick-me.
Yeah.
I won't say that to her face because I'm sure she could fight me. She looks like she's in really good shape. But she sucks, I think.
Do you think they're actually boyfriend and girlfriend? I know she said they weren't exclusive. I just get a weird vibe that they put her on the show to throw it in Natalie's face, that 100%. He's seeing someone and he's still saying we're not exclusive, but look at this kind of thing. I didn't like it.
I think you're 100% right. I think it's smoke and mirrors because who is living in his house is who we actually want to know. And this is not someone that's living in his house.
Oh, no.
This is someone who supposedly they're not even having sex.
Oh, right.
So.
That's right.
I don't know.
And she threw shade at Natalie, and because Sean asked Jen, well, what do you think about what you saw, in the last resort? And Jen said he clearly didn't like her at all. And we're not quite sure what Natalie was doing. I'm sorry, what Natalie was doing? Hello? Yeah, she was nasty.
Everyone is so conveniently forgetting that we all watched the video. Then everybody's also mad at Natalie again because, again, Natalie's been an asshole online. And then somehow we bring up Josh and Sophie again, and they are just showing the receipts. 1, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And 2, then we actually see them, and they're exactly what you think. It's Sophie posting thirst traps because that's her thing. Sure. She's 23.
Sure.
She's an Instagram girl. And he's responding with heart emojis and fire emojis and sheesh. Florian just kept yelling sheesh. Oh, I don't want to be married to Florian, but he is fantastic for television.
Yeah.
For some reason, then Natalie's like, but did you sleep with Josh? No one here thinks that Sophie slept with Josh. Nobody does. But Natalie won't let it go. I will say I was proud of Natalie for how she handled, I think they wanted Natalie to fly off the handle with Josh's new, not girlfriend, girl that he's courting. And she was like, your relationship is not going to be what my relationship was with him. I certainly hope, at least. I wish you both the best. So go. I hope it all goes great. I think she handled that very, very well.
She did.
There's a lot of other things she handled poorly. That she did great.
Yeah.
And then they finally move over to Rob and Sophie, which was interesting. They brought Sophie's roommate from Austin. She seems mildly unhinged in the best ways for TV. I guess Rob had insinuated multiple times that she and Sophie were hooking up, even though she says that Rob knows that she's the straightest woman alive. I feel very straight. I feel like while I can look at a woman and find her attractive, I don't find myself like sexually attracted to a woman. But if Sophie came on to me, I think if I was a single lady, I'd try it out.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, plus, I want to know what fake boobs taste like.
Ooh, good one.
That's what I meant to say. But what they feel like.
Yeah.
I want to know what Jasmine's upside down butt feels like. I want to know what Sophie's fake boobs feel like.
Yeah.
Stacy's fake boobs. I want to feel those too.
Yeah.
Just for scientific reasons. I think the whole thing was very bizarre. He's accusing them of dating, and then she's accusing him of being gay. It just escalates, and then it ends with Sophie going, do you want to talk about the real reason that we're not together anymore? Because Rob stick for money.
Yeah.
Do you think that he does?
Well, here's the thing. Well, I don't know. I was reading the situation, right? I know it's on TV and it's not in person. So I'm reading the situation, and he was clearly uncomfortable. So I'm thinking, okay, this might be true. His head was down. Josh jumped in very quickly. I'm thinking, okay, this is true because his friend is protecting him. Sophie and Kay are attacking him, triggering him on purpose. If something is not true, you're really going to stand up, be very aggressive about it, and say, absolutely not, absolutely not, absolutely not. When they took a break for a minute and they all went off stage, and Josh was walking Rob away, and Josh is telling him, okay, just don't worry about the gay prostitution stuff. I'm thinking, oh, I think it might be true. She's just trying to trigger you. Don't worry about it. I'm thinking, I think this might be true. They go back on set. Everybody's getting upset. And then they have the second break where Sophie says, I want to talk to you for a minute. And then they go behind the little dressing room curtain thing. And Rob and Sophie are talking. And she's like, I saw the text message.
I have screenshots.
Right. I have screenshots. And then they're arguing about the amount, $500, $5,000.
Right.
And then I'm thinking, well, maybe it's not true, because that was a very weird interaction. I wasn't sure about it. But then someone online was like, okay, people, it has to be true. This purple velvet suit that he's wearing, and this long, what was it, a lightning earring that he's wearing. He's seeming like he's maybe doing gay prostitution. It was leaning for me more that he was true. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know that Rob would. I have no question that he would make videos on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It looks the little snippets that we've seen. I'm not convinced that it's Rob because they're all pictures from behind.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it past him. But he's doing stuff by himself. He doesn't like women.
Yeah.
I think he maybe is attracted to women. I think that there's something going on there with him. I think a lot of, just like Gino, I think a lot of his masculinity gets very performative. Yeah. And the second that anything's questioned, he like freaks out. I'm like so on the fence of like, did it happen? Didn't it? When she's saying, I see where you were discussing amounts. And here's the deal. if he was, I don't care.
No, I don't care either.
Right? Like,
Nobody cares.
Nobody
Rob.
cares. Nobody cares. Go do it.
Yeah, nobody cares.
That's fine. Go for it. Get your money.
Yeah.
I'm so supportive of it.
Yeah, nobody cares. But I think he doesn't have to attack people. I just wish he wouldn't act the way he does. He's so nasty. He's so triggering on purpose. That's just why Sophie and Kate.
And then, on top of the fact, you just sent me another video. It's called like the 90-Day Bad Boys or something.
Yeah.
Where they're doing their lip sync videos. And there's production value behind these lip sync videos, which is the most annoying thing.
Yeah.
You and I are fighting for our lives to get the technical parts of this podcast working. And these guys have a full behind the scenes crew for singing Elton John. Right?
Yeah.
Jealous. And also, why is Josh in them? Because he dances like Fozzie Bear.
Oh.
Like, he looks like a Muppet when he's dancing.
Oh, terrible.
I want everyone to go find the video of them at the airport lip syncing to Rocket Man.
Oh.
And look at his arms. He is dancing like a Jim Henson's Muppet.
Yeah.
It's irritating to me. But yeah, so everyone's freaking out about the did they not? Was it 500? Was it 5,000? Is that I mean, I feel like, not to be naive, either way, both of those numbers sound too high to me. For Rob?
Well, I don't know.
I guess it's like everybody has their thing that they're into, so some people are going to spend a little more than others on certain things, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about the girl we follow, blue-eyed Kayla Jade, right? She spends the night. It's, 20, 30 grand, so.
Yeah, but she's doing prep.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's a whole day regime before that she's getting her butthole ready.
Yeah. And her front ready.
Her back and her front.
Yeah.
And she's got a specific food thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's buying things. She's traveling. Kayla Jade's doing it professionally. But if you're Rob from 90 Day Fiancé, if I can get a cameo of you,
true.
I'm saying maybe your rate could be higher than average Joe.
Yeah.
But that still seems like a lot of money. Someone fill me in on how much a blowjob costs.
Yeah.
Because I'm very curious. And I don't think I can find that out in the state of Florida without my internet getting turned off.
Gino and Jasmine were at the end.
And we just got that, it was just like a little tidbit to let us know really what's coming up next week.
Yeah.
And Gino is saying that she was cheating on him, and then she was saying, no, we agreed to it, and he was already dating people. And the answer is, I don't know why I care, but I care. I want to know. And I'm 100% on team Jasmine. I would love for somebody to convince me otherwise. However, the more information that pops up on Instagram, things like he was supposed to include her children on the K-1 visa when he was applying for everything, and he chose not to, and it costs thousands of dollars to change that after the fact, and he's refusing to change it after the fact.
Yeah.
I don't love that her kids aren't with her.
Yeah.
But is she also kind of trapped here? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't totally understand it. And I tried to follow their stories on Instagram, but that was a lot more reading than I'm going to commit to.
True. I agree.
So, apparently we'll have more info next week, and it will go just like this, less than 20 minutes of us talking about that show.
Yes. But we do get to see Matt over Zoom, FaceTime, whatever you want to call it. The boys are going to attack him like they said they would. Matt's probably going to crush all of them. Like, we hope he does.
I don't know. I feel like we see a little bit of him losing his temper, and he and Gino doing back and forth, and Gino's calling him ugly. We're like, Gino. Gino makes comments about how little Matt's wiener is. Yeah. And then Jasmine's like, little enough to get me pregnant. Okay.
Well, she's not wrong. So
no. I mean, I know that we're going to get low, but this is why I watch the show. So go for it, guys.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And then the therapists come in. And Gino, the little part where he's kind of quarreling with Reba. And she's like, Yes, it's not my place to say.
He's like, you didn't tell us not to do it. We all saw her go, there's a lot that goes into this.
Right.
That you guys are not getting.
Yep.
And tried to explain to you. She said it every single way except for don't do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm too dumb for you to not be direct with me.
Yeah.
Gino.
Yeah.
I love Reba. We should have not watched anything and just watched episode 5.
I know.
Here's the question. Will there be an episode 6 of this?
Oh, sweet Jesus. Mm-hmm.
All right. So should we get to what we really want to talk about?
Oh, the darkness of the valley. My God. Episode 2, they called it Checking In. Whew. Wow.
This is nutso bananas. This is going to be one of those, the peaks and valleys. I think this is going to be a peak, and then we're going to go into a valley for a little bit, talking about all the other stuff. So they're setting up like, here's the day, and they give little snapshots of everyone. The first snapshot they give is Jesse sending a text to Michelle asking to FaceTime his daughter in the next couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But then they cut to, and I don't know if this was fantastic editing or it actually happened, but then you see Michelle in the car parked, and she's got her kid in. She's like, do you want to say hi? And she's FaceTiming, and then you find out she's actually FaceTiming with Aaron, her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And Isabella's like, I love you. Oh my God. That's
Burn.
way to kick off the
Burn
episode.
on Jesse. Yeah.
I loved it.
That was good.
Oh, and then we have a morning meetup for Janet and Jason, and then Brittany and Jasmine are over visiting them, and they make a breakfast casserole. And they're all talking about this ongoing drama between Janet and Zach, because Kristen did not want to move on with Janet, didn't find Janet's approach at Brittany's party good enough.
Yep.
And I'm going to say it again. I don't think that Zach was calling for her pregnancy to not go full term.
Agree.
I think he said, I don't care. She's being a bitch. I
Yep.
think that's the general gist. As someone who is pregnant with twins, and I had someone send me a message that said, I hope your children die inside you.
Oh.
I've had someone actually say that to me. That person is dead to me. And then you just go, of course, there's no question about this. The fact that Janet's like so back and forth and
Dramatic.
wants to move forward, but that was really hard for me. And it sucks that someone would be so blasé about that, but also pick a fucking side. Are you going to move on about this?
Yeah.
Do you really take it seriously? And they are dead to you and you can never have a conversation with them again, which I'm totally accepting of that stance. I've taken that stance. Or are you trying to move forward and go, okay, I don't think that he meant that or whatever. She's trying to do both. And I find it exhausting.
Yeah.
And Jax and I think a couple other people are like, it's very Jax of her to do this. And I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think she is trying to be the victim in a situation and trying to have the higher ground in drama to make herself the center of attention or something. I think I would have so much fun being friends with Janet, but this shit I find exhausting. And even Brittany's like, I need you guys to figure this out. You're adults. I need no part of this.
Yeah. Which I was going to say, I'm pissed off at Brittany. I said this last week. Brittany fucking started this whole thing. I know that Zach said it, but Brittany is the snake that went through the grass to tell Janet. Brittany probably knew that Zach was drunk. Zach said that Brittany was drunk, and neither of them knew where the floor was or the ceiling was, but Brittany crawled up Janet's cooch and told her this. And probably said, oh my God, do you know what Zach said? Guess what he said? Blah, 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 blah. You know what? No. I'm mad at Brittany for starting this. And then she turns around and is like, oh, well, this and that and the other. No. Brittany, shut up. Shut up. I said this last week. I think Brittany is scared of Janet. I think she needs to pick a side. You either are friends with both and you don't do shit like that to one or the other. And you don't say stuff like that. And then she has this discussion with Zach at her house at the pool. And the poor guy cries and is like, this messed up our relationship and I want to talk about it. Yes, it did. Because you went running to Janet and opened your fat mouth when you didn't need to.
And she's saying, well,
is what makes me mad.
To give some space. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. She's saying that she needed space. He's like, you're letting Janet put a wedge between us.
Yes.
And hasn't she been friends with him since Kentucky?
Yes.
So weird. I think that
yeah
sucks.
That makes me mad.
I'm ready to move on from this. I think Janet needs to decide if she's done or not.
Right. Her son is born. Everybody's fine. Yeah.
Right. No one actually said they don't want your pregnancy to go to term.
Right.
So chill out. The next conversation is pretty intense because it's another Jax and Kristen conversation. And even Jax said, if you think that you've hit your rock bottom, you don't know what that feels like until Kristen Doty comes to your house and goes, I think you've hit rock bottom, and is trying to talk you off the ledge first thing in the morning. He's such a piece of shit.
He's the devil, Stassi. He's the devil.
And he won't let us forget it. We can't get away from it. Even in his after show commentary, he is so insincere and it is so oily and gross. I just feel uncomfortable and kind of nauseous as we're watching it. Even Matt, as Matt's watching it, Matt's like, he thinks he's so charming and he thinks he's so believable. He's saying all the things that he thinks you're supposed to say to get people on your side about this.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Oh, yeah.
He's throwing his freakouts around about how Brittany had fooled around with their friend Julian. Oh my God, I would love to never hear the name Julian again. And I think Brittany probably feels the same way. But he's like, she said that she was trying to get back together with me, and then she's fooling around with my friend. The timeline doesn't match up, but he is going to hold onto it forever.
Oh, yeah.
Very Janet-like.
Yeah.
Actually, Janet's probably taking a page out of his book.
Yeah.
But he is accusing her of being awful and cheating on him, even though they were separated. And he's been bringing girls back to the house the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
It's nuts. So he, I guess, got upset again and starts throwing furniture around again. He broke a chair. He threw cups. And that's fucking terrifying. That's scary. And he's like, I'm not trying to justify it, but anyone else would do the same thing. And you're like, no. And even Kristen's like, that's called justifying it. And to this day, in interviews, the after show, and in interviews that he was doing when the premiere came out, he's like, well, did you hear what she did? And everyone's like, dated someone while you were separated?
Right.
I don't think she did anything wrong.
No, not at all. Nobody thinks she did anything wrong.
No. And Kristen, I think, is genuinely trying to be a neutral party for this. And she's like, you've put Brittany through so much. And then he goes, but what about me? And she's like, you are not the injured party in this. And he's like, no, what about me?
Right.
He's so desperate to be a victim.
Oh, yeah.
It's bananas.
Yes, and this is when we hear that Kristen says that Jax is calling her fat and Jax is calling her ugly. And he says, I've never done that. And Kristen says, yes, you have. I've literally been in the same room. I've seen the text messages. I've been next to her when she's crying. And then the entire cast begins to say, yes, I've literally been in the room. I've literally sat next to him. I've been on the phone. I've seen the text messages. So that's when that all starts.
He said that she looked like a tree trunk because she got stretch marks from being pregnant. I can't imagine. And it sounds like it was incessant.
Yeah.
Just all the time. Yeah, he sucks. Then we also have Zach and Brittany. Jumping back to that. Zach, we get to see a little bit more about him, and he was really more of a friend of. They tried to act like he was a regular cast member. Yeah. This season, they're trying to make him like a full, fleshed out human being instead of just he's her friend and he's her friend, and he pisses off Janet. He is dating a guy, looping into 90 Day Fiancé. He's dating a guy who is from Canada, and so they broke up because the guy had to go back to Canada because his visa wasn't getting renewed. Also, the guy is still married to somebody else, so that complicates things. Yikes. And he's very broken up, and this is like the only guy that he's had real feelings for and maybe ever. And, you know, he's been partying, hookup culture, and then this guy, Benji, is really amazing and great. I do think that they look really cute together. And we actually go to his apartment. Is he in the same apartment building that all the Sir people were in?
I know. I thought that same exact thing. I don't know, but it did look like it.
The layout seemed very similar with the little like tiny half galley kitchen. And then he also, did you notice that he had a mini Monster Energy fridge in his kitchen?
I didn't. Awesome.
So Kentucky of him.
I love that. I just want to point out, I don't know if you noticed that, when he went to see Brittany and he came in the house and he saw Cruz and he went up to say hi to Cruz, and Cruz came up to him and gave him like a nose boop. The two of them like bumped noses and he smiled and walked away. I just want everybody to remember that for when we get to the end, when Jax came in the room to talk to Cruz, his own son.
So Cruz is one. How cute was he in the pool?
God, yes.
Brittany and Zach are having a conversation. Zach is a good friend. Zach is meeting Brittany. Brittany's at her new Airbnb.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like where they were talking. And it's gigantic and it has a pool in the backyard. And he brings her flowers and a potted plant and so much Chinese food. He immediately is connecting with Cruz. They're dealing with a lot right now with Cruz in that he's been recently diagnosed with autism, and right now he's mostly nonverbal, and they are working with speech therapists, and he's in school and he's got, an occupational therapist. All amazing. As a parent of a kid with autism, Henry was nonverbal. And then all of a sudden became verbal in full sentences because working with a speech therapist. Yeah. It's amazing. It's a spectrum. Every kid is going to be different. Every person on the spectrum. If you know one person on the spectrum, that means you know one person on the spectrum. Yeah. So we don't know how things are going to go for Cruz, but he clearly has an amazing support system, and she has done such an incredible job getting him everything she needs.
Yeah.
And then also surrounding him with adults like Zach, who are not trying to force anything on him or force him to do things, and just creating a safe, comfortable space and connecting with him where he's at. And I just loved it. And yeah, exactly what you were saying. When they did the little nose boop, I kind of teared up a little. I was like, oh, I love that. I love that so much for Cruz. I think Zach's a good person. I think Zach can also be a shitty person at times, but I think deep down, I think he loves the drama, but deep down, he's a very good person. I think he's so good for Brittany. So exactly what you were saying. I hope that Brittany makes this up to him and reconnects, because he's there for her in such intense, serious ways. And I also hope that this relationship with Benji, the married Canadian man, works out. He actually said, he's like, I used to say that I didn't like the drama, but maybe I'm choosing drama and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like, ding, 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 ding. Yes, you're correct, Zach.
Isn't he the one that we've seen on Vanderpump with Tom Sandoval before, when they were at Tom Tom? Remember?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Love them.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have Jesse and Michelle getting together to talk about the schedule. I have not been divorced, but I have been a child. I've been a child of divorce, and I have never heard of a 2-2 schedule or a 2-2-3 schedule, which is what they're Jesse and Michelle are trying to hammer out.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
No, we did. I had full custody. Well, it was almost full custody all week, and then every other weekend she was with him. Then we kind of decided when she got a little bit older, like around 12 or 13, she would just say, can I go over for however many days or nights? And we just kind of winged it like that, because she was more, I guess, just grown up, that she was like, I just want to do this. And I thought, okay, if you are able to decide that you wanted to stay there, I felt comfortable that she made her own choices like that, because he lived here near us. So,
and she was self-advocating.
Yeah. Yep.
And it does sound like they've made a point, Michelle and Jesse, as toxic. I hate to use the word toxic because I think it's thrown around in a really weird way in the show, but as really incompatible they are, and as dysfunctional as they are, and the venom that's between them, they do also try to keep their daughter in the forefront. And so they're living very close. They will say, I think she's a great mom. I think he's a good dad. I don't want to have my kid away from from the other parent. And so that's good. But they're also at the same time at each other's throats.
But again, they teach you that in parenting class. So when you get a divorce, you have to take a parenting class. It's required. And in that class, they hammer into you over and over and over again. We don't care if you hate your spouse. Do not say that stuff in front of your kid, over and over again. So that's probably where they're trying to practice that, because you get that in parenting.
At least in the interviews. In person, when they're together, he's made a couple comments directly to her.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's also made comments in the after show about how Michelle, he's 99% sure that she cheated on him, and she's going to need to apologize to Isabella. She's going to need to explain this to Isabella.
Yeah.
No.
Give me a break.
That's none of your child's business.
Nope.
Making that Isabella's business, Jesse's a son of a bitch if he does that.
Nope.
My mom really leaned on me emotionally and told me every single thing, including, I find out later, things that weren't true.
Yeah.
But told me everything that was going down in the relationship between her and my dad as they were in the middle of the divorce. And it was gross and disgusting, and things that no child needs to know anything about their parents' sex lives.
Yeah. Super traumatizing.
Literally no child's business. It's not your child's job to know that the husband or the wife cheated.
Yep.
That does nothing to serve the best interests of the kid.
Yep. My ex told my daughter when she got home from her LDS mission that I cheated and I did all of these things that were lies. And subsequently, she didn't talk to me for probably 3 months and finally confronted me. And I said, please tell me what's going on. And she said, Dad told me X, Y, and Z. And I said, please, let's have a discussion. And I explained to her none of that happened. I explained to her what actually happened and why we got a divorce. And she marinated with it. And I gave her however long she needed with it. And then went into counseling and therapy and finally came back and said, I'm so sorry. But he did that. He plopped all of that onto her for whatever selfish reason. I don't to this day know why, but it's gross when a spouse does that.
It's going to backfire on him long term. Let's say that Michelle did.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Let's say Michelle cheated on him throughout their entire marriage. That doesn't help his daughter at all to find all of that out.
It has nothing to do with his daughter.
To do with her.
Yeah.
Right. And we also know she is an incredibly present parent, more so than Jesse was the second that COVID restrictions were lifted.
Yeah.
He thinks that he's going to use this as his trump card, and it may work for a short period of time. But when that child is an adult, she's going to look back and go, what the actual fuck? Why would you have that conversation with a child?
Yep.
Why would you have that conversation? Or a teenager?
Yeah.
Ugh. So I find him really fucking irritating. I know that they're trying to go through a mediator. It seems like a bad idea. And they also brought up, I was curious about your feelings on this, the right of first refusal. How he wanted that. So it's like, hey, you're going to go do something during your parenting time. You're not actually taking care of the kid. You're finding a nanny. They're staying with a grandma. What it actually has to be is I have the right of first refusal. So I get to say, no, I want them, instead of the kid going to grandma's. In theory, it sounds like a great idea, but I watch a lot of divorce TikTok. I don't know why. I am obsessed.
Weird. Really?
I love divorce TikTok. I say TikTok. I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
There's a woman. She is Arizona family law attorney.
Oh, okay.
And she fields questions
Okay.
with people talking about like custody issues and divorce issues.
Okay.
It's awesome. It's like watching Judge Judy. I love it. But she talks about how narcissists will use that to fuck things up.
Oh, yeah.
At first I was like, okay, it makes sense that you would have the right of first refusal. Then I was like, oh, Jesse should not ever have that written in, because he will take that kid every opportunity he gets just to make everything awful and inconvenient and extra hard for Michelle. Did you have that?
Oh, he wanted that, and I said no. He wanted that, and he pushed for that. Oh, hard, big time. And he tried at every second to make my life miserable. Every time I wanted to take a vacation, every time he threw a fit. He tried to stop it every time. But it was okay when he wanted to go on vacation. So I never understand these men. Whenever I do something, it's a problem. But when they do something, it's a problem. Like, I don't.
Right. Jesse, the whole reason that the issue came up is because Jesse went out of town 4 trips in a row within a couple weeks. Yeah. And she's like, you decided the schedule.
Yep.
You're fucking it up.
Yep.
Why are you mad at me?
Yep.
And he's like, well, I've written up a new schedule. Like, okay.
And I didn't like the whole, she's like, who's the nanny? He's like, it doesn't matter. If she were to say that to him, if he were to say, who's the nanny? And she goes, it doesn't matter, he would lose his mind. That's what these guys don't get. If it were turned around, they would fucking go off the rails. But it's fine when they do it.
The last episode, he's talking about how he might be moving to Orange County, right? To be with this new girl. And then I guess the new girl is going after everybody in this cast for some reason.
Yeah.
I loved that in the after show, Janet was like, if you're going to be dating someone and you don't want your info out there, don't in the middle of a divorce. Yeah. On top of the fact, he's literally contractually obligated to be putting himself out there. He signed up for this show. And she's sending everybody on the cast cease and desist and do not talk about me.
I know.
And then Brittany has the allegedly sign. It's like, how do we avoid anything? Lawsuit? No lawsuit here. Allegedly.
It was the best.
And he's clearly doing all of this. This woman, is it Natalie? Maybe.
Right.
From 90 Day Fiancé. But she's going after everyone on the cast. And then also isn't even really his girlfriend.
Yeah. And
Michelle brings that up, and she's like, I'm getting told that I'm going to get sued by this woman, and this sucks. And she's seeing other people. And it was so satisfying.
No.
On paper, Michelle's the bad guy, but then you see them talk, and you're like, fuck Jesse. And she's like, yeah, no, Sheena heard her say that she's seeing other people. It's not exclusive. And he does not believe it. And he's like, fine, let's call Sheena. Sheena is on speakerphone this episode for like 30 seconds. And I feel like she deserves a full paycheck for this. It's so good. And it's so good.
In the after show, Brock goes, of course it's Sheena. I was laughing so hard. You can't tell Sheena anything. Of course she's going to say something.
And she knows about everybody.
No.
And everyone's talking about in the after show how she keeps up with all of her friendships. And Jack starts talking shit and he's like, she's only doing it for the people that can give her something. And it's like,
shut up, dude.
She's a mom. She's got a podcast. Yeah. She's doing constant endorsements. She's going to every fucking party. Yeah. I am not the biggest Sheena Shea fan, but I will never discount that woman works so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, I like her?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But she's amazing TV, and she works harder than anybody else on any of these casts.
Yeah.
Doing every single thing to stay relevant. And so it's like, yeah, she heard she's talking to every single person, and Brock is like, yeah, somehow she just pulls this info out of people and they don't even realize it. But we find out from Sheena, she had been at a party that may have been Jesse's party.
I think.
Somebody's party. And she's talking about how she's dating a guy that's on Baywatch. And she told multiple people this.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh, God. So, it was great.
You see Jesse just go, well, I'm tired and I think that we've solved everything and I'll talk to you later. And Michelle's like,
thanks.
Okay. Jesse's like, why is she trying to hurt me? I don't understand. We just saw you make up that you are moving to Newport Beach. to get a rise out of her for
Yeah.
no reason other than to like watch her get upset.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is so willfully ignorant of his part in any of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts.
Amazing.
Amazing. And now back to this whole thing. So much drama this episode. So right after
Whew.
is when Jason and Danny, I love Danny. I love Danny so much. I'm really worried that I'm going to not like Danny later on this season, but I love Danny right now. And Jason, I actually like Jason. I don't understand why he's with Janet, but he seems just like such a good person. Not judgmental enough. That I think is what it is. I feel like he's not critical enough of the people around him.
That could be. That's his flaw.
But he seems genuinely good dude. So Danny and Jason go over to Jax's house and we realize it's to have an intervention.
Check in
and
on
even
him.
Yeah, to check in. And even Jax is like, is this an intervention? It sounds exactly like an intervention.
Yeah. Jax says, I don't think I'm as bad as they're making me out to be. And Danny goes, What? Well, how bad do you have to be? You're throwing furniture and Brittany won't let you see your son alone. Okay. Well, what's the solution then, man? That's what Danny says. Wow. I mean, well, we're talking in circles. Jax just talks in circles. He just talks out of his ass all the time. And I'm so sick and tired of just watching him wear that Jax Studio stuff. That's all he wears is that black sweatshirt.
His bar merch.
Yeah.
His bar merch.
Right. Oh my God.
Well, he can't afford anything else.
My God,
right now,
sir. Oh.
So he's like, well, I think I'm going to check into this treatment place where I'm going to get mental health help.
No.
And he's fully a victim of everything going on.
Oh God, yeah.
He did nothing. He's reacting in ways that make total sense to him, to what everyone's doing to him. And it's also really annoying that everyone keeps talking to him about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, people are coming to try to help you. Like Danny and Jason are legitimately there to be like, what are you doing? What can we do? What do you need? We can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Let us help you.
They were, I mean, that's good friends. Those men came in and they didn't need to do that because they could also go like, you're a fucking mess. Don't ever call us.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Right? Absolutely.
But Saved by the Bell, Jax gets a call and it's this coordinator from the inpatient facility. And he's like, I've got to do it. And he basically shoves these guys out the door so he can take this call, which he needed to take that call. He says that he's on this for anger and depression. And, you know, he grew up in a house where there was a lot of anger and yelling. And he also mentions to the guys that this is a thing that's been running in his family, these very angry, screaming men. And his dad would be rolling over in his grave to find out that Jax was getting help for this.
You're just looking for sympathy again. More victimization.
Oh no, it's so hard for you.
Yeah.
And then you find out that, like, where is Jax going? Jax is going to go to this place that's $30,000 to stay in for a month.
Yeah, wow. Then he says, oh, I don't want to stay the whole time. And the guy's like,
he's like,
no.
well, you pay for the whole thing no matter what, no matter how long you stay. So maybe just come and stay.
Yeah.
He was thinking, Jax thought he was going to go for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And we find out in the after show that he like really has to go that day. They're like, you're coming. This is happening now. And he was like, but I have an appearance that I'm going to make $4,000. I've got to go do that. You are not allowed to see your child by yourself because you are dangerous. You can skip the appearance where girls are going to be throwing thongs at you, which we find out about because Brittany, Janet, Michelle go out to lunch. I guess like they hadn't fully confirmed all of this yet. The timeline is a little bit hazy on how that day went, but they're going out to lunch. Brittany had been getting stuff for her new place, this new Airbnb, and she ordered it on Amazon and accidentally sent it to her old house. Yeah. Which I've done that. She knew that Jax wasn't at the house, so she goes to the house to pick up her stuff, and then that she got shit there. And then she also she's like, oh, I'll go grab any extra clothes that I might want to have, any toiletries and things. And when she walks upstairs, on the counter, she has a picture of it, is a white thong with a baby wipe on top of it.
Yuck.
Whoa. Yucky.
Yeah.
And she's like, why would there be a baby wipe on top of it? And they're like, 'cause the thong owner wiped herself off.
She's cleaning
And
herself
left it.
afterwards because she doesn't
Ugh.
want little Jax Taylors crawling around for later. Nasty.
Gross. So gross. Well, and Jax clearly left it there for her
Oh,
to
absolutely.
see. That was clearly a fuck you.
Yeah.
He wants to do whatever he can to
Yeah.
like, bother her.
And then told 2 different stories in the after show about how it got there. Couldn't get his stories straight, and the boys made fun of him for it.
Right. And even Tom, who is the king of trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, was like, no,
Schwartz.
Jax, I was at that pub crawl. No one was throwing panties. And he's like, no, they got handed to me. No, who's handing out panties? He's like, it happens. It's like,
No,
it doesn't.
Yuck.
Michelle was telling some more about Jesse's weird girlfriend who's also dating the guy from Baywatch. Here's the thing I don't understand about that lunch. It was a very quick lunch. Janet's there supporting her girlfriends. We have Brittany, who is in the middle of this awful separation that is escalating so quickly. We have Michelle, who is separated and in the process of divorcing Jesse, and it is messy, and there are other people involved, and she's exhausted because she's getting told left and right that she's going to get sued, and Jesse makes everything as difficult as possible, and it just sucks. And then Janet's like, well, let's talk about something fun. My birthday's coming up. Let's go to Dave and Buster's, which does kind of sound like a fun birthday. However, and she's like, can I invite Jax? Can I invite Jesse? I don't know what they ended up deciding. The answer is no, you idiot. Why? That's why Janet holds all the power, is because she's the almost neutral party that can get all of these people in the same place to make the production of the show work.
Yeah.
I think that's why everyone is bowing down to Janet. I guess she's the key to this.
I guess. Maybe Dave and Buster's is big enough that they can just all go to their corners.
Yuck. Yes.
Fucking Janet.
Fucking Janet. Why are you inviting everybody? Your girlfriends that are in the middle of these awful, emotional, abusive separations. Yeah, make sure to invite their exes. Yeah. That's really important.
Let's do that.
Then the end of the episode happens.
Then
and it's fucking bananas.
The darkness comes.
Can we just talk about what Brittany walked into in her house?
Oh.
So it seems like she hasn't been there since the panties incident.
Yeah.
But there's rotten food.
Ah.
There's playing cards taped up to the cameras that are in the house.
Yeah.
Which I can almost forgive because if they're like heavy duty installed cameras. I don't know if that's security cameras. It's my assumption. It looked like security cameras. And that's probably because Brittany has access to those cameras, right?
Mm.
Like she can see people coming in and out of the house. Jax probably doesn't want to see the cameras of what's happening in the house.
Yeah.
I've got Ring cameras. You can get them in your house. That makes sense to me that they would have that. But he's like covering up the cameras. But the rotting food is gross. There's cups that are filled with liquid that have women's lipstick on them in the fridge.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm just trying to get a quick drink for my kid. This is what this house is right now.
Yeah.
Her home that she and Jax built. And he's just letting it all go, turning it like a crash pad.
Yeah. Disgusting.
So gross. But then Jax comes, and Jax walks in. He's so excited to see Cruz. And he's like, buddy, come here.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I have kids. No one wants to get screamed at like that. His kid is so little.
Yeah.
And Cruz immediately cowers.
Yeah.
And starts crying and pulling away.
Yeah.
It was really, I mean, I was honestly at that point, like, I felt bad for everyone in that moment.
Yeah.
It sucks for everybody. When your kid does that to you, that really feels shitty. And Jax, it was so theatrical, but then you could see when it actually happened, when his kid reacted that way, you could see the hurt in him. Yeah. That's what happens when you act the way that you do and you don't see your kid.
Yeah.
And the last time the kid saw him, he was probably screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
What did you think about what Brittany said to him about don't kiss him on the face?
I mean, she has a valid point. She's a mom. God only knows. If he's not cleaning his house, he's probably not cleaning himself. We got to see the lovely woman that he was just with, 3, 4, 5 hours ago. God only knows what the two of them did and what was all over his face.
We all know the gross things that Jax likes to do in bed.
Yes, of course. And not to be funny or make light, but Danny did walk in saying he did have hand, foot, and mouth disease from his own children. So, I mean, there are diseases, infections, and things that you can pass through to one another from your skin. I think it was semi-valid, but Brittany, I think low-key was still trying to get Jax to stop, kissing and touching Cruz without saying, please stop kissing and touching Cruz. You know what I mean? Like, no means no, almost, without saying that. So she said that instead about the girlfriend that he was with. That's kind of how I saw that.
I felt like it was really towing the line between being like a mom who had genuine worries and also her just trying to needle him. It's so a little of both.
Yeah.
I think both things are true. Jax also likes to pretend to be such an old school guy. I think you and I are on the same page, and a big part of parenting nowadays is making sure that your kids have bodily autonomy. Like, my kid can say, I don't want to give you a hug. It's not, oh, you have to go hug Aunt so-and-so. Go give Aunt so-and-so a kiss. Go sit on Uncle so-and-so's lap. That's not a thing anymore.
And I think that's okay for mom and dad, too. I don't necessarily think and also with Cruz having autism, I don't have an autistic child, but I think some of them have sensory issues. Maybe Cruz doesn't want to be touched. I don't know.
Right. No, that was 100% my first thought is Jax walking in, making himself giant and yelling and directing all of that at his kid. Any little kid, that kid's a little. Is like a lot. And then also I immediately thought of sensory issues. And he's surrounding him and you can see Cruz is just rolling into a ball and getting upset and crying. That whole thing sucked. And it's exactly what you said. The difference between how Zach walked in and was very calm and gentle and they touched noses and it was meeting him where he was at, and Jax coming in and being like, that's my son. It was this weird flex that he started trying to do. And that
it was gross.
But when she calls him out of having the girl that was over there, and then he's like, well, was Julian with you? Ugh. And she's like, these things, he starts screaming about how she has also done all of the same things that he's doing. And it just keeps one-upping each other. I can see how she's her wit's end. I wish that she had just done what she needed to do and get out of there. Like, can we please just film at my house instead of here? I can't be here. So I don't think she would have been there fully by choice. But we find out that Jax is actually going to be leaving to go to his treatment thing. And that's part of he was saying goodbye to his son before he left for 30 days. She's screaming at him. He's screaming at her. He tells her, you destroyed my life. And who pays the bills? And she's like, I put down just as much money on this house as you did. I am paying bills even though I'm not here, and I'm paying for my other thing. And he's like, you've never made a house payment. I don't believe him for a second.
No.
I believe that she carried that family financially. I mean, if you watch any of the videos that are popping up about it, she's done a lot for that family financially.
Oh, yeah.
They were always keeping everything separate. I have been rewatching season 1. When they go to the gala, the Find the Match gala for their friend who needed a kidney transplant, they're talking about how much are they going to be donating? What is the limit of what they're doing? And she's like, I've got my money. And he's like, no. And she's like, your money is separate. I can do what I'm going to do. You do what you're going to do. And he's like, no, we need to talk about this. And you can see him getting really flustered because her acknowledging that she has her own money he's like, you just bought 2 handbags. She's like, yeah, and it's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I think he has this idea of what he's presenting to the world. And they talk about how he is in front of people. He'll compliment her. And then 20 minutes later, when he thinks no one's around, he'll call her fat to her face and rip her apart.
Yeah.
I think has this idea that he's presenting to the world that he is the world's best dad. He's a fantastic husband. He's a provider. And the truth of it is that she's been the provider most of this time.
Yeah. And good for her for keeping her own finances, her own bank account.
But as she's breaking down, she has Cruz go outside with the nanny, which is the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's following him around the house. She says that Cruz cannot grow up and become a person like you.
Yep.
Like, she is cutting. She is angry. She is cutting. You're literally a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying, you know, I am never going to forgive you for this. You're destroying my life. And she's like, I didn't make you do this. I didn't make you throw chairs and punch holes in the wall. That's when he's like, we're done filming. We're done filming. And he's like, go do all your shit. I've got people watching you. Also very creepy and scary. It's awful. And then she's talking about, I'm not protecting him anymore. And she says, you have a coke problem and you need to be serious about this. And then he turns it on her and he's like, so you're saying you've never done coke?
Yeah.
Like, he wants to rope her into all of it.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't say it calmly, but like, she doesn't deny that she's done coke. She's just like, I don't have a problem with it though.
But do you remember last season when he got so mad at her for getting drunk and throwing up and being sick that day? When they went, where did they go? To the cabin or something? Do you remember that?
Well, it was every time. She went to the girls. They went to Malibu. They had a girls' night in Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
And she got really sick there when she was on her way back.
Mm-hmm.
She threw up the whole drive home. He had told her in text message to get drunk, have fun, be safe, have a good night. And he's like, no, she deserves it. And then the next morning she comes and she's super, super, super hungover. He's like, you can't do this. You're a mother.
Unbelievable. I don't understand. See, people like him, a complete narcissist, what they do in these arguments is they deflect. They turn the argument back on the person that they're arguing with. They throw it back on that person and they make the argument about something else. And then while you're screaming, you forget what the argument is about because you're arguing about something else.
Because you're defending yourself.
And then you forget what you were arguing about in the beginning. This is what he does. He never takes responsibility for anything. It's always somebody else's fault.
And he's been doing this since season 1 of Vanderpump Rules. I mean, remember when he got a stripper pregnant and turned everybody against Stassi?
Yep.
Even in the after show, he said that he thought everything got blown out of proportion. He just made a mistake. This one mistake where he threw a chair.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying. He really isn't taking accountability. Every once in a while, he'll start to say the things that he's repeating from what he learned in therapy, which I don't think he means for a second. It's really my fault. I'm the one that did that. But she did send dirty pictures to Julian. What man wouldn't? Come on.
Right. No, that's a complete deflection, and he's projecting everything onto her. He's not learned anything. I mean, he's giving himself easy questions, and the answers are trying to make himself look like a genius. That's what he's doing.
He's a genius / victim. Yeah. He's so gross.
He sucks.
So it just is escalating, and you see in his eyes he wants to break something, but he can't because there's cameras everywhere. She calls Jason of Janet and Jason. Jason comes, consoles her, is like, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. He's going to go to this thing. Yeah. He goes, he picks up Jax, and she leaves with her kid. Jason picks up Jax. Jason takes him to the place that he's
facility.
Into. I am glad that Jason was there. I'm glad that they all live close enough that she was able to tap into that.
Yeah. I mean, just watching that on TV, can you imagine what her life has been through when nobody is watching? Over and up and down, over and around, how twisted he is, how horrible and manipulating he is to her. I mean, it's just disgusting to have everything turned around on her when all she wants is for him to say, oh, you're right, I'm sorry, and just never do it again, right? For her to say X, Y, and Z is happening. This is what I need you to do. But no, he turns it around and makes it's her fault, right? And then she has to, protect herself and defend herself. And then it's a whole new thing. I mean, she's been doing that for years. The poor thing. I started to cry watching her at the end when she said, this is going to be the best 30 days of my life knowing that he's gone and he's not going to be around. I was like, holy shit, this is so heavy for her. I was so sad just watching her have this relief and this huge weight lifted from her. I can't even imagine what that's like to live under that psychosis of him every day, all the time. And he doesn't even take responsibility or recognize what he's doing to her or that poor child. It's so sad.
And again, Jason came in, kind of saved the day, and they were talking about the loose ends that he was like part of the reason he was so frazzled and whatever. He was like that because he's a piece of shit. But they're saying that, you know, he had loose ends. He didn't expect to go in as quickly as he did, and that he had loose ends to tie up. And Jason's like, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do that will make it easier for you to go check in today?
Yeah.
And Jax was like, well, I have some stuff that I'm selling on eBay that I need mailed out.
That was the best.
Oh my God. So we learned that, and apparently everybody knows about it, when they go to all of these events, there's always PR bags and there's promotional stuff that they're sent. And if Jax doesn't use it, he will sell it. He will sell mascara on eBay for $20. And he's so intense about it. They're teasing him. You're going to go do an appearance for $4,000. Yeah. But you get this PR bag of stuff, which I know is worth money. Sure. It's like a couple $100s worth of stuff. He takes it apart and writes a description and takes a photo of it and post it individually on eBay. And he's like, yeah, I do. It's a great revenue stream. I love it. My favorite hobby. Oh my God.
Tell them what you said about Matt. You're like, Matt, go find it right now. What you told me.
We haven't found it yet. I wonder if he will. And the thing is he's not selling it as this is Jax Taylor's eBay account. I don't know. We gotta, because you don't put your like real name on. Maybe you do. I don't know enough about eBay. Are you on eBay?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's Jason Couchy. Maybe people don't know that he's Jason Couchy. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna see the aftermath of him being in a mental health facility. We're not calling it rehab.
No.
It's a mental health facility.
Yeah.
I'm glad that these places exist. $30,000 is unachievable for most people.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
No. Well, I hope he's not going to get better. We already know he's not better.
He's not better.
We know that he's not suddenly a good person. But also, there's something really gross to me. He keeps saying, I'm just doing this for my son. I'm just doing this for my son. I know I'm supposed to be doing it for me, but I'm doing it for my son. I 100% believe that people do things for their kids and will better themselves for their children. But I also feel like there's a lot of people that say that and it's insincere. And I've experienced it in my life. And I think you have as well. People who are like, I'm doing this for my kids. And you're like, can you just do it? Like, I don't need to hear who you're doing it for. Can you just do it? Yeah. And then we'll talk about it. Don't talk about how you're going to do it for your kids. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't find it believable. I think invoking the name of your kids is gross.
Yeah.
Like, do it. And then show your kid that you're doing it for them. Don't say that you're doing it for your kid before you've done it. Because it's going to hurt that kid a lot to hear that they weren't enough for you to get it done after you invoked.
Of course. Because what do you have? What product? What item? What are you producing at the end to say to your kid, here you go. This is what I've got, right? What are something tangible for that kid to go, thank you? Nothing. You don't have anything. Right. The kid's left with nothing.
It's setting a kid up to hear that your dad wanted to get clean for you, but he couldn't.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, I have kittens. It's just, it's a shitty thing. Yeah. I think it's a really shitty thing to be like, you're not enough to keep them sober. And it's like, don't bring your kid into part of why you're sober or not, because it literally has nothing to do with the kid. It's not the kid's job to be a reason for you to stay sober. Yep. And then when you come back and the kid is uncomfortable with you and you're like, but I got sober for you. Can't you see how hard I was working? That's not that kid's job to do that for you. Fuck off.
Yep.
And I think he's one of those guys.
Of course, it's everybody else's problem, fault, responsibility, all those words except his.
Ugh. All right. Just go rest up. Figure out technology.
My God.
Call the team that's doing the music videos for the 90 Days Bad Boys. See if they can help us sort this out.
Mighty.
But this week has to sound better than last week. I don't think anything.
Fingers crossed. Come on, people.
Fingers
crossed. We can do it.
We can. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Miss you. Love
you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.